A very good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for the lunchtime news today. My name is Wadulo Arnold, and without further ado, let's get straight into the bulletin. In our first story, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has committed that government will put in place a conducive legislation environment for cooperatives to thrive in Uganda. This has been at this year's National Day celebrations for cooperatives held in Bukomansimbi, where the president was represented by the third Deputy Prime Minister, Rukia Isanga Nakadama. More details in this report.
Misambi Church of Uganda grounds in Bukomansimbi district has been a busy place this Saturday as Uganda celebrated the International Day of Cooperatives. The day, always celebrated on every first Saturday of the month of July, has been presided over by the third Deputy Prime Minister of Uganda, Right Honourable Rukia Isanga Nakadama, as the main celebrant.
This is our circle for police officers. Yes. We have 41,000 of them. Wow. We have the cheapest interest rate so far. We are sensitizing all officers to be there so that we achieve the socio-economic transformation you are telling us.
The day, whose main intention is to celebrate, create awareness and deliberate on cooperative matters, has attracted celebrants from various circles.
And I'm now happy to report that UCA is now coming back. It's where it had been. Honorable Minister, I want to thank you. Our chief guest, we have done a lot as cooperatives in implementation of our 7th principle for cooperatives, which is community concern.
The Line Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives has been represented by Ministers General Wilson Mbasumbadi, David Bahati and Frederick Ngobi Gume.
The cooperatives are a source of production. When cooperatives are organized, supported, resourced, financed, then they can help us to organize production.
Therefore, in every parish, we have a circle. And a circle gets 100 million shillings every financial year. And the president is determined and has made a decision to always extend 100 million shillings to every parish in Uganda.
Today, I'm proud to say that we have about 18 million cooperators in this country. That growth in number is very encouraging.
The theme for this year is Cooperatives Build a Better Future. And we think that it fits into our government's socio-economic transformation agenda. Because by focusing on the needs and aspirations of their members, cooperatives foster an all-inclusive economy that benefits everyone, particularly those in rural and served areas.
The third Deputy Prime Minister, Rukia Isanga Nakadama, addressed the celebration as the chief guest on behalf of the President.
The theme of the day is Cooperatives Build a Better Future for All. The above theme challenges us to renew our commitment as well as strengthen the partnerships between the national cooperative movement and other supporting organizations, including government. The NRM's government's strategy for supporting the growth of cooperatives is aligned with the wealth creation campaigns through Operation Wealth Creation programs and the parish development model.
Nakadama, in a message delivered on behalf of the president, couldn't leave the podium without committing government to supporting Uganda's cooperative society.
I call upon all Ugandans to embrace cooperatives so as to reap the economic and social benefits that they offer. Government is committed to supporting cooperatives through favorable legislation and creation of an environment that enhances their growth.
Although Uganda's cooperative sector dates way back in 1962, however, the journey has been characterized by highs and lows. Robert Onyango, UBC News, Bukoma Nsimbi.
Photographers, okay?
And furthermore, Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Matia Kasaija, has tasked Bunyoro community to embrace mindset change by adopting and participating in poverty eradication programs by using the available services, which are a potential to transform livelihoods. This was during the commissioning of a multi-million microfinance support center regional office block in Chibale region, where Emyoga beneficiaries in Buyanja were handed checks worth 360 million shillings.
In 2019, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni launched the presidential initiative on job and healthy creation, known as Emyoga, to facilitate socio-economic transformation of households from subsistence to money economy and market-oriented production to eradicate poverty among Ugandans. Chibale district, found in Bunyoro sub-region, hosts multitudes of people with different financial stature that government has labored to extend financial transformation. While commissioning the commercial building for Microfinance Support Center in Chibale, Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Matia Kasaija, lauded Microfinance Support Center for extending services to Ugandans.
If you wanted to go for microfinance service, you'd have to go to Hoima. From here to Hoima is about 80 miles. So it makes now, even with a small border, or even for the young men, if you have even you can take a bicycle, you would arrive here in less than 2 hours and then get served.
Although residents of Buyanja have embraced Emyoga Sacco, the saving culture is still low in rural areas.
To encourage homes to create wealth, homestead income. These two facilities the government has put in place, the Emyoga and the PDM, is precisely meant to help the ordinary people down there to be able to create wealth through production.
The Emyoga beneficiaries thanked President Museveni for spearheading wealth creation,
like training our groups, the circles, and even facilitation in terms of loan, getting credit.
The Microfinance Support Center has plans of extending their services nearer to the people of northern Uganda and other parts of the country. Dr. Kizaliba Emmanuel is the chairperson board of Microfinance Support Center.
We help the most disadvantaged in this country. We have to open an office in Karenga. I don't know whether that is the end of Uganda or the beginning of Uganda, but we are going there. That will be in Karamoja. We would like to bring financial services closer to the people so that those who are a little bit disadvantaged and they cannot move to the bank because of one reason or the other, we should be able to reach them where they are.
Suzanne Nabugude, Andrew Musingos for UBC News.
And furthermore, the government is nearing the final stages of approving the establishment of a cooperative bank in the country. The Minister of State for Trade, General Wilson Mbasu Mbadi, revealed that the necessary documents have been forwarded to the Cabinet for consideration. A 14-member committee has also been formed to analyze these documents before they are sent back to the Cabinet for final approval. Now, this announcement was made during the National Cooperatives Symposium organized by the Uganda Federation of Malgumgo Community Credit Cooperatives in Masaka City. The Minister of State for Cooperatives, alongside global economists, including Professor Ezra Suruma and Dr. Sifa Chiyoge, emphasized that cooperatives are a vital tool for achieving economic sustainability in Africa.
Hundreds of cooperatives gathered at the National Cooperative Symposium organized by Uganda Federation of Malgumgos Community Credit Cooperatives at the Maple Leaf Hotel in Masaka City. The symposium aimed to brainstorm solutions to challenges facing credit cooperatives. Officiating the event, Minister of State for Trade General Wilson Mbasu Mbadi announced that government is intensifying efforts to establish a cooperative bank.
The cooperative bank is on the desk. Cabinet discussed it. It was pushed to the ministry, and the ministry will form the 14-member committee to do a feasibility study, and I think once they are through with the comprehensive report, they will bring it back, and then we'll take it back to the cabinet for a final decision.
Minister of State for Cooperatives, Frederick Gumengobi, praised the Uganda Federation of Malgumgos Community Credit Cooperatives for promoting community-based financial institutions to combat financial exclusion and drive rural development.
Uganda Federation of the Community Credit Cooperative Limited has a very good example. They get money and give to a village. The village can use that money to extend electricity. Now, when they extend electricity, the people who pay for electricity will be paying back to the Federation of the Cooperative. They can build a more. So they are supplementing government efforts.
In her keynote address, Dr. Safi Chiyoge, Regional Director of the International Cooperative Alliance Africa Office, highlighted the role of cooperatives in achieving Uganda's Vision 2040 and the Sustainable Development Goals.
Fostering self-reliance, economic independence and prosperity. Please let's go back to our roots. Let's not create pseudo-cooperatives. We should teach the rights tenets of cooperatives where there is member economic participation.
Also present at the symposium was Professor Ezra Suruma, who called for the formation of a national cooperative institution to provide access to affordable and appropriate finance.
So the cooperative movement is strong enough to have influence on our politics and protect its interests.
Buganda Kingdom's second Prime Minister emphasized Buganda's commitment to promoting the cooperative movement as a key tool for economic empowerment.
One of the interventions the government can do is to support apex bodies that support cooperative societies and unions and circles with capacity building. Capacity building so that they can appreciate governance, risk management, investment decisions, and the like.
Andrew Chepa, CEO of Uganda Federation of Malgumgos Community Credit Cooperatives, stated that Malgumgos is a vehicle for community-driven transformation and rural financial inclusion.
There is power in the community. When we are together, when we are a team, we are able to solve our bigger problems without spending a lot of resources because each makes a small contribution. So as UFCC, we are rebuilding community institutions, major community financial cooperatives, encouraging people to own, communities to own, not members, not individuals to own cooperatives. Because that trend has been taking place, we are encouraging communities to own cooperatives.
During the symposium, economists noted that the formation of the Uganda Federation of Malgumgos Community Credit Cooperatives plays a transformative role in promoting financial inclusion, improving rural livelihoods, and fostering sustainable development. Mary Namkose, Robert Boita, UBC News.
expect institutions and other organizations to invest in human capital development as a catalyst for quality service delivery. Okidi's assertion is in regard to the ever-increasing demand for experienced and skilled human resource in government institutions to render improved service delivery to Ugandans. Mr. Okidi remarked this while officiating the graduation ceremony of the third cohort of graduate trainees of Water and Environment Mentorship, Internship Placement Program that took place at the Line Ministry headquarters in Luzira.
In the financial year 2023-2024, the Ministry of Water and Environment, through the Water Resources Institute, in partnership with UNHCR and partners, recruited and attached 24 graduate trainees to 6 humanitarian settlement camps with the sole aim of developing their technical and soft skills in humanitarian water, sanitation and hygiene management.
Look at how we can turn theory into practice and do hands-on training as we proceed.
Upon completion of the 12-month internship program, the beneficiaries could not hide their joy, blessing the brains behind this initiative.
We have potentials in many young professionals who need an entry point into this professional world. And this agenda is doing that right, because if we can do this and try to scale it up, then we shall have a secure future, just like the ruling government says.
Globally, funding for such programs has of recent dwindled due to the shrinking donor envelope. Despite this, UNHCR remains committed to render the necessary support for obvious reasons.
Because we need doctors as well. We need teachers as well, who just graduated and need to get the experience to get into the job market.
Addressing the graduates, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Water and Environment, Alfred Okot Okidi, noted with concern that natural resources are under pressure, threatening their extinction.
Water and environment resources are under pressure from the high population growth, industrialization, climate change, and irresponsible actions by all of us, the citizens.
As a remedy, Mr. Okidi underscored the need for qualified and skilled professionals in the water and environment sector to beef up optimal utilization of natural resources while promoting conservation. He also challenged government institutions and private organizations to interest themselves in human resources capacity building, arguing that returns on investment are usually enormous.
You need to invest in the youth. You need to invest in the young people. So I'd like to call upon people out there, especially employers, civil society organizations, invest in these young people, come and sponsor 1 or 2, and the benefits will be really felt by your organization.
This Water Resources Institute graduate mentorship, internship and placement program is being implemented in partnership with several partners, including non-government organizations, civil society organizations, the private sector, government ministries and agencies, international organizations such as UNHCR, Oxfam, Water Mission, and academic institutions. Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
The National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, together with Water and Environment Authority, have carried out a land mapping exercise at Kaskazi land, initially contested between Uganda Scouts Association and the alleged owners. They demarcated the place and erected stones separating the wetland from the mainland.
There have been several clashes between the Scouts and the alleged occupants and owners of the Kaz land. This tension recently prompted the Scouts Association of Uganda to seek intervention of Parliament after allegedly learning that Delight Company had destroyed the environment.
He collided with the former leaders who were there during COVID-19.
Convinced me that NEMA has never seen that construction taking place, that it saw it a week ago.
Be sure we shall reach there. We have started. We have started. NEMA is here.
These and other factors, including the dumping of soil in the wetlands, have led NEMA and the Ministry of Water and Environment to visit, survey and map the area.
So it's where I find it there.
Emmanuel Wepukulu, who led the land mapping exercise and the head of environment and wetland protection in the central region, said they took action after receiving complaints from the Uganda Scouts Association.
Demarcate where our wetland stops, or an area, a confined area where he should stop. So today we demarcated and we have shown him, and we are still instructing him according to the restoration order that was issued on 2nd of July.
Adjumani District.
Now, menstruation and menstrual hygiene challenges still remain one of the contributing factors to school absenteeism. Leaders believe the involvement of boy child in menstrual hygiene care and free distribution of sanitary towels could dignify young girls, giving them an equal opportunity to complete school. Ediolwa reports.
A UNESCO study indicates that insufficient menstrual hygiene management in schools contributes to a dropout of up to 10% of girls in sub-Saharan Africa at the primary level. The Kwale District Inspector of Schools says there is a strong connection between menstruation and absenteeism in schools.
When a girl is undergoing menstruation and there are no pads and good facilities in the school, the girl may in the first place absent herself, and then eventually the girl may drop out.
Many of these girls are known to turn to utilizing makeshift dangerous materials.
It could be a piece of cloth, others could be toilet papers, name it. And if we have infection in these toilet papers or in these pieces of rugs, it would descend directly to the body through the open blood vessels which are in the inner wall of the uterus.
Aware of these challenges, Growth Care Uganda, in partnership with the Communication for Development Foundation Uganda, have launched the mass production and distribution of reusable sanitary pads to 6,200 school-going children across 8 districts in Lango.
But we want to uplift the dignity of our girls and our mothers, so that surely, wherever they are, they feel proud.
The teenage mothers also make baby carriers and reusable pampers, which are sold to support their livelihoods.
The issues of attention and retention and compensation cycle is increasingly high among the girl child.
Since the production is here, the organization is here in this and their best here, the girls producing are way here, they will always continue to produce and supply to the girls in the school. So whenever there is need, they will always come and then we'll pick it from here.
Kwale District Health Team wants boys and midwives trained on how to make these pads in order to scale up its production. A study by UNESCO indicates that with the onset of menstruation, an estimated 23% of teenage females between ages of 12 to 18 discontinue their education. Edi Olwa, UBC News.
And in more news, the Deputy IGG, Patricia Chan, is impressed by the decision of Adjumani District Local Government to start using the ICU unit before construction is complete. The unit, constructed under the DRIP or DRDIP project, was yesterday morning inspected by the Deputy IGG, Patricia Chan, and she was impressed by the timely response of the district and the hospital administration to ensure that patients receive treatment, even though the construction is not complete.
Adjumani District Local Government has been applauded for its ingenuity to start using the recently constructed ICU unit, even before its official commissioning. Deputy IGG Dr. Patricia Chan has been inspecting the implementation of the Dr. Deep Government project in the refugee hosting districts in northern Uganda.
Facility is very clean, well done with terrazzo, and the emergency cases are already being handled within the facility, although waiting for the formal commissioning. But because of emergency is always emergency, so the facility is already under full use. We are very impressed about this project because we can see that service delivery is going to be enhanced.
The infrastructure is very good,
Initially, we were depending on a one-room house, a one-room area to handle medical emergencies, which was not adequate. So as management, we sought it clear to ensure that these facilities here to manage a very big number of cases.
Adjumani district received 55 billion shillings in this project to cater for the ICU unit at Adjumani General Hospital, construction of an abattoir, roads, among others. The construction of the ICU unit at Adjumani General Hospital is currently estimated at 98% completion.
98% complete, but the project is already under full use, and you can see that the facility has got equipment, they have got beds and medical equipment all provided for under Dr. Deep. I recommend the districts to own up the projects, because many a times when in terms of sustainability they give up and say, well, this was for the government. But these projects are for the community to enhance service delivery, so they need to continue to sustain these projects, to do maintenance.
Charity Marion Imnat and Joseph Omagur, UBC News.
The Paramount Chief-elect of Lango, Dr. Engineer Moses Michael Odongo Okune, has called upon the pageantry queens to use their beauty and pageantry to promote culture in addition to the fight against climate change. Eddie Olwa gives us a detailed story.
The pageantry queens had paid a courtesy call to the Paramount Chief-elect ahead of the Miss Lango Beauty Contest slated for this Saturday. This year's theme is harnessing the power of culture in tackling climate change.
Miss Lango Beauty Pageant, it's a culturally pageant that we want to celebrate the Lango culture and expose our culture to the world. This year we want to focus so much on the issues of climate change, where we are going to plant trees in different headquarters, district headquarters and health centers in Lango sub-region.
Addressing the queens at his home in Lira City, the Paramount Chief-elect Dr. Engineer Moses Michael Odongo Okune asked them to use pageantry to preach against practices resulting in climate change.
Puri yidia kao chulowang pi raj matupi te bolo chupa plastic kanu toro wang pi ameni ko buni raj ginda yai dog nyahachil when you meet dang waru runyang mo yuri yotral.
Okune applauded the NRM government for intervening in environmental degradation in the country.
Kobo bodgamente Nuong yore, me you will link with dog ping, coin tedo.
Beauty pageants are usually goal-driven with a specific focus on advocacy and promotion of community concerns and practices. Eddie Olwa, UBC News.
And furthermore, the Lions Club International is seeking for more members to join the service organization to facilitate service to the less privileged. This was during the first cabinet meeting chaired by the Lions Club International District 411B Governor Lion Benon Katate Tu Musabe at Silver Springs Hotel in Kampala. Now, the governor asked the new Lions Club's cabinet officers to attract membership to their clubs. Currently, there are about 2,000 members in Uganda and less than 1.5 members globally. Namko Semeri reports.
The Lions Clubs of Uganda, also known as District 411B, have held their first cabinet meeting of the new Lionistic year 2024-2025. The Lions cabinet meeting, chaired by Lion Benon Katate Tumsabe, attracted leaders from 54 Lions Clubs of Uganda under the Lions Clubs International District 411B.
And so we sit and receive our goals as leaders, some of which are mapped on the Lions International goals, like membership goals, service goals. Those are mapped on the requirements of our global association leadership, Lions International.
The meeting discussed emerging issues including recruiting more members and motivating members to stay in the clubs serving the unprivileged, mainly those affected by famine, hunger, cancer, measles, environmental degradation and forge ways of taking the club forward.
Because we believe there are very many people who are less fortunate, and we need to reach there and serve them through vision, diabetes, childhood cancer, hunger and relief. We are actually going to feed school-going children in Karamoja. So we believe with more people, service becomes easier, and then we increase the impact.
The district governor, Benon Katate, urged Lions members to sidestep bureaucracy and recruit as many members as possible to energize the clubs to serve more Ugandans in need.
People want things where they achieve benefits, and probably they don't see benefits. But we are sure the benefits are there. Because when your community improves, you are part of it. You also benefit. Secondly, the other reason could be our capacity to sell, to explain this philosophy well, that actually by helping others, we're also helping ourselves.
The Lions Club has also expanded its outreach, where new areas of service delivery have been introduced to meet the emerging community needs.
Road safety awareness, it wasn't a priority. I have added on care for the elderly. I have added on mental wellness. I believe these are critical from the way I see things in families, in communities. Children are not well, drug abuse is high, older persons are increasing, and yet the traditional family care system is dying out. So we need to lend a hand and find a way forward.
The club later agreed on various resolutions, which include coming up with a new home in the city centre, which is expected to ease service delivery.
But we are saying we have to get a home to ensure that we have a permanent place of abode where we can always be found and be able to store our information for quick retrieval. But also our target is to serve more than 2.5 million people in this Lionistic year.
The Lions Clubs International is the world's largest service organization that is committed to serving the unfortunate members of the community and operates in almost all countries of the world and has 1.3 million members and seeking for more increase in its service capacity. Mary Namkose, Deogratius Habimana, UBC News.
And furthermore, Diamond Trust Bank has partnered with the National Forestry Authority to plant over 20,000 trees in an effort to restore Kasonke Central Forest Reserve in Masaka District. This follows the recently launched climate change initiative by Diamond Trust Bank, dubbed Green Initiative, which aims at reducing carbon footprint by planting 1 million trees across the country.
Over 20,000 trees are said to be planted to restore degraded parts of Kasonke Central Forest Reserve in Masaka District. The forest, which is known for its high biodiversity value, faces threats of degradation from encroachment.
It's very evident that our forest cover is actually reducing for obvious reasons that have been cited around population growth, around driving our investments into several sectors, manufacturing, agriculture, and so on and so forth.
This partnership will kick off the bank's environmental sustainability campaign, dubbed the DTB Green Initiative, aimed at reducing carbon footprint by planting 1 million trees by 2030.
When you look at Uganda, statistics has also shown that 88% of Ugandans are using firewood as a source of energy source for our cooking, and it's very clear that if we do not provide alternatives, that pressure is definitely going to continue exerting its weight onto the earth, and probably our ambition of really reducing our temperatures, global temperatures that have noted to be increasing tremendously, will definitely not be realized.
The Executive Director, National Forestry Authority, Stuart Muniraguha, applauded the initiative, which he said is a meaningful partnership to contribute to Uganda's vision of increasing forest cover to 24% by 2040.
Focusing on the Central Forest Reserve in Masaka, called Kasonke, and Diamond Trust Bank has chosen to invest part of their money in there, and we are going to have this partnership focusing on an area of about 34 hectares. Be ready to go in and restore parts of the degraded Kasonke Central Forest Reserve. And it is for purposes of the public and media. We are not going to grow exotic species. We are going to do indigenous species. So restoration is basically putting back the forest the way it was.
Sada Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
The Seventh-day Adventist faith in Uganda has been conducting evangelistic crusades across the country. Emphasis has been put on winning many to Christ, but equally shaping morals of society. Pastor Abner de los Santos, Vice President of the Seventh-day Adventist faith in the world, was among those who preached the gospel for 2 weeks. He led an evangelistic crusade at Kajansi, where many gave their lives to Christ.
Is to see our members together in Sabbath, wearing their special attire for a particular day. Maybe many of you were taught to do the same. And if you were not taught to do that, I invite you, use your best clothes on the Sabbath. He wants us to see hope in Christian experience. This makes believers forget the diligent effort needed to reach the ideal of a victorious life in Christ. God wants us to have a victorious life in Christ. My wife has there as a time of prayer with a group of ladies. You were in that list of prayer. Remember, Jesus is coming soon.
And furthermore, the director, Destiny Christian High School, Daniel Sajabi, has called upon parents to ensure that they visit their children on school visitation days to know exactly how their children are performing while at school. The director, Destiny Christian High School, Daniel Sajabi, has made the call while closing the school's music, dance and drama day that has been held on the parents' visitation day to the school, which is located at Kalongo Zone in Luwero Town Council, Luwero District.
Tell what they are when we just see them move. But when we encourage them, when we train them, we can easily know that these children can do this, can do that, and can do everything. It was in primary 6 that I realized that I could also dance the Chiganda dance. And since then, I proved one of the best boys. So we should take our time and discover the talents in our children.
Now, education has got formal education and then informal education. So, but when we talk about formal education, the parent plays a very important role, and informal education plays a very important role. So when the parent come and visit their children, it gives them connection between the teacher and the learners. Secondly, the parent can also identify the talents of the children, their abilities and weaknesses. They can come and also cross-check on the children's performance in all activities, not only just academic. Although these days, some parents are very busy and they don't have time for their children. But all in all, it's quite important to come and see the accountability, whether the school is performing to the maximum expectation or not, other than relying on the student's information, whether he likes the school or not. When you look at overall, compare with the old curriculum, this curriculum is about student discovery. It is student-centered more than teacher-centered. Like in our MDD, what we did not provide this time, we did not provide any trainer. Children themselves, they brought their ideas together. We not provide what they called the traditional costumes, so they had to improvise most of their costumes. The intention was basically to show how creative they are.
And furthermore, parents countrywide have been urged to maintain their children in school regardless of economic hardships. And apart from paying school fees, parents have to ensure that they buy all necessary scholastic materials and uniforms for their children to allow concentration. The call was made by the chairman Horizon Kindergarten and Primary School Management Committee, Fred Isabidie, while addressing the school's Parents and Teachers Association meeting held at the school's new site in Chizito Zone, Luwero Town Council in Luwero District.
Okwongeramu amaanyi mu kuwa abaana ebikozesebwa ku masomero nga yunifoomu, ebitabo, ensawo n'ebirala baana babeere nga beeyagalira mu kusoma kwabwe.
We need to see that parents are giving out scholastic materials which are needed by the learners so that the learners are not disturbed because of lack of scholastic materials.
Most parents, especially men, don't want to attend PTA meeting, Parents Teachers Association meeting, and yet it is quite important to understand and also contribute. First of all, to contribute to the development of the school. Second, to understand the problem the school is facing and also participate in making decisions at whatever stage. For example, as Horizon, we want a functional PTA such that they can help us understand whatever we are doing at the school, and this will contribute to the performance of their children and also for the development of the school. We can't increase fees without consulting with the parents, so that we have a situation of win-win. Though we have challenges, but we also need to understand the challenges of the parents. That's why we hold PTA meetings to involve them in the decision-making process. And we have realized that most of the parents who come for meeting are mainly women. Women are more concerned about the children.
Amanya gange nze Namtebi Sharon nga nkolera wano wennyini Saka Kirombe oba Makindye. Empangula gye nawanguddemu ssente mbadde nga nkozesa mobile money nga nsindika school fees w'omwana ku ssomero. Okutegeera nti mpangudde, nze mutima neegambye nti kambalinde bamale okujja ndyoke nzikirize nti mpangudde. Kyenyinza okubagamba nti si byabafere, weewaawo abafere gye bali, naye ennamba eri emu yokka era bw'eba ekukubidde omanye eyo si yabafere. Mpulira bulungi nnyo 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 era ndi musanyufu nnyo. Naye MTN mobile money mbebaza nnyo, mwebale nnyo, mwebalire.
Together, we're unstoppable. Predict the outcome of 10 football games and win big with tickets at only 500 shillings. Play for this Friday's draw to stand a chance to win big with Sports Stake 10.
Buy your tickets at authorized shops on nationallottery.go.ug to download the app or simply dial *278#.
Ugandan National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC Lunchtime News, the weekly news roundup edition. The State Minister for Youth and Children Affairs, Balam Barugahara, has pledged to lobby for hatching machines for poultry dealers in Kampala in order to improve on their output. Balam was presiding over the commissioning of Container Village Poultry Sellers and Suppliers Association in Kampala.
A section of poultry dealers in Kampala have joined hands and formed an association known as Container Village Poultry Sellers and Suppliers Association. The association has been commissioned by the Youth and Children Affairs Minister, Baram Bargahara.
President ayagala mulokoke. Bwe munalokoka ajja kubawa ssente. Naye mugenda mu maaso nga mwokya ebipiira ajja kubawa tiyagasi. Omanyi mwagala nnyo tiyagasi mu downtown. Temwagala kukola ssente mwagala ki? Lwaki oyagala ebipiira ne tiyagasi? So President abagamba mulokoke muve mu kukolera olubuto lwokka ayagala production. Kati bino bye mwogera nti mwagala ekyuma ekyaluza enkoko. Lwaki tujja obukoko e Netherland? Lwaki tujja obukoko e Kenya? Obukoko tubukolere wano.
Minister Balam has been impressed by the gesture of unity.
Nze njagala nnyo abantu abakola emirimu gyabwe nga beeyimirizaawo nga tebasabiriza. Mukoledde mu kupatikana okubeera obulungi. Naye olumu osanga emiziziko mu kkubo nga tasobola kukola ki? Kukulaakulana. Bimwogerako bintu birungi temusabye sente za kugula motoka. Ngeza ba presidential advisor abalaze basaba. Bwe musabye sente za kukola ki? Za kukola.
The association members want government to support them in their transformation journey. Tapping into government poverty alleviation programs was the last call to the poultry dealers by the minister. Charity Nahabwe and Onyango reporting for UBC News.
Workplace discrimination, sexual harassment, wage violation, casualization of labor and lack of protective gear affect many of the employees in Uganda. Now, this has prompted Minister of State for Labor, Employment and Industrial Relations, Honorable Esther Davina Anyakun, to inspect factories in Seta Mukono to assess the health, safety and welfare of their employees.
The government of Uganda has established over 22 industrial and business parks throughout the country, majorly to create jobs and add value to locally available raw materials. There are currently 11 operational industrial and business parks with 166 operational industries, creating over 42,488 direct jobs and 59,800 indirect jobs. However, threats of abuse of workers' rights and decent work are creating fear that there would be good intention is ending up a misfortune to many.
You know, there are some things when you feel like your brain is bursting, but you just feel the brain is expanding, because I don't know what other people in my position have been doing before. The laws are very clear. Everything is very clear. Today I'm actually disappointed. People have been complaining that some people come, when they come, they refuse them to come. Unless you've been in a dubious business.
A tripartite meeting between top management, employers of Namamve and Balala Industrial Parks, Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development and trade unions under the Industrial Coordinating Council of Uganda has been held at Uganda Industrial Research Institute, Namamve.
Just be very empathetic. Why do I say this? You put yourself in somebody's position. What if it was you, your child, when you're not existing, or someone is paying 6,000 shillings per day after starting work at 6 a.m. and closes work at 6 p.m.
The employers are adamant on signing recognition agreements and collective bargaining agreements, and yet these are fundamental rights of workers enshrined in the Labour Act.
Most times employers have refused to recognize unions, which is a constitutional right, thus denying a majority of workers the right to collective bargaining and decent work.
Political affiliation, some people think they know the president, so they don't want to deal with unions. He even tells you, I will call State House. State House is for every Uganda, not only you. And all of us can call State House.
So this thing is happening. A girl will whisper to you, we are aborting. We are removing our fetus because we are getting pregnant. This is a pain that we have, but we cannot get into those workplaces.
Mukono Town Council Deputy RDC Rhoda Titwe Kagaga, says many of the investors are not cooperating with the district inspection team and also allegedly mistreat workers.
But it is a shame when a security officer, a minister, an MP, and any other individual gets to these doors, to these gates, and they cannot access. And yet we are receiving complaints day in, day out from these people. And we are representing the president.
In response, the employers say they have on many occasions met with people masquerading as industrial inspectors.
We have had issues with very many impersonations that I cannot fail to mention.
Story compiled by Jimmy Alur for UBC News.
And furthermore, the Ginger College Boys Association has launched a 3 billion ultra-modern dormitory project to address accommodation challenges of the school. The school recently failed to admit about 300 students due to inadequate accommodation. The Jikoba team, led by the president, Dr. Yunus Masaba, also donated modern whiteboards to enhance their learning. The launch was witnessed by key old boys, including Vision Group CEO Don Wanyama, the speaker, Ginger City, Bernard Mbayo, Michael Dikusoka, who is also the head teacher, Michael Dikusoka, the head teacher of Ginger College, among others. The school head teacher, Michael Dikusoka, says that despite the academic excellence, the school is faced with many challenges that require intervention of well-wishers, old boys, and government.
Slept there, we've come back and we found the same dormitories.
We have challenges ranging from infrastructure, welfare, name it. A lot of construction is going on, and you've seen the 7-up project. You already have the basement done. Very soon you will see us going vertical, but that's not enough because that only caters for classrooms. Now we need to have these children sleep comfortably, because the dormitories we had then in the lower compound especially are the very dormitories that we still have.
Better life is what has paid all my bills and been able to take me to where I've been able to go. So I keep telling the young people, the students, kindly use your time at school profitably. This is the time for you to actually set a foundation for what you want to do. But it's also the time when you meet genuine friends. A lot of the people who met later in life, when you're already working and you have the title here and there, they're just not genuine friends. Yes, you're the first. I would also like to recognize the presence of Don Wanyama, the CEO of New Vision. Which are not.
And in the world of sports, the Uganda Rugby Cranes 15s fell to Zimbabwe 22-20 in their quarter-final game played last evening at the Mandela National Stadium, Nambole. The Cranes started the game poorly, trailing by 22-0 at half-time. However, in the second half, Uganda looked to get back in the game with 2 tries from Philip Wokorach and Innocent Gotko. Penalty kicks and conversions from Philip Wokorach, bringing the score to 20 points for Uganda. However, even on the improvement in the second half, Philip Wokorach's second half magic was not enough as Uganda crashed out the Rugby Africa Cup. The result means that Uganda is out of the race for the African Championship, but will stay in place for games later in the week. More details in this report.
Alex Aturinda being one of, and of course Joseph Aredo, how much do you feel that they've impacted on this game as far as Team Uganda is concerned?
I think the fluidity of Uganda's game is very evident now. Alex Aturinda is carrying and giving Uganda platform, go forward ball.
First and foremost, I want to thank the Lord God for the beautiful game the boys played. Even words can't explain how proud I am of the boys. We fought hard, but we fell short. We shall go back to the drawing board and try and clean up on the mistakes and come back strong. We are taking every game as a final, Yes, we fell short today. We're coming back strong in the second game, and we're looking for a win.
We know Zimbabwe starts really strong. We spoke about it during the warm-up, but they caught us cold, and by the time we woke up, it was a bit late. Yeah, but a good performance from the boys. Second half was perfect. I'm really proud of them. We came short, we pushed till the end. Yeah, we can only get better from here. Begin on a high, we shouldn't be reminded, or we shouldn't wake up a bit late. Yeah, you can see the way the boys stand up in the second half. If we can begin with such energy, we can be unstoppable. They did a fantastic atmosphere, fantastic pitch. I would like the government of Uganda and our minister here.
The first phase of refurbishment of the Mandela National Stadium, Kampala, by Uganda People's Defence Forces Engineers Brigade is nearing its tail end. This upon the start of laying of the running track. John Bansentamo has more details.
Laying of the running track at Mandela National Stadium Namboole is progressing, with details explained by the project engineer Lieutenant Colonel Peter Kidemuka.
We are putting the first layer of the soft material, that is to give it a base. It acts as an infill to fill all the potholes, so all the undulations which are there to make it to the required standards. And afterwards we are going to put another layer. That layer will enable us to achieve the evenness, to make sure it is very even. Then the final one will also come to give it the required hardness for the somewhere to participate on, so that when they are running, it is neither torn or neither even affects the player. So this will be done in three layers, and first layer is almost done. We are going to, then the last exercise will be marking. The marking must be done accurately. That 400 meters is 400, 100 is 100.
This laying of the track is expected to last about 3 weeks of uninterrupted weather patterns, after which official handover to government will follow.
Since we started, I have not just had any big problem of rain. In fact, the temperatures we have are very, very essential, because if it dries under very harsh conditions also, it will not give it the right setting we need. So the temperatures we have as of now are very, very, very good. The rain is not yet too much as that. And I think by the time rain intensifies, we shall be done.
But even after handover, the Uganda People's Defence Forces Engineers Brigade is expected to continue works at the stadium to fit AFCON 2026 requirements.
The Honourable Minister of State for Sports has already asked us to do that, and I think also the consultants are working out the budget, but the activity I know which they have asked us to work on is the swimming pool, the cost for closing that stadium and expanding it to fit the requirements of AFCON. Then we also give costs for the indoor stadium. So those are the major activities we expect to be done in the coming phase.
Mandela National Stadium Namboole was opened in 1997 and has undergone several renovations, with the latest by the Uganda People's Defence Forces Engineers Brigade the most recognizable.
And that brings us to the end of our weekly roundup edition of the UBC Lunchtime News. My name is Wadulo Arnold, but do join us for more news in our subsequent bulletins. Have yourselves a lovely afternoon.
UBC, inspiring Uganda. UBC, inspiring Uganda.